Are you curious if a career in microblading might change your life? Well, let me welcome you to 6 Digit Club Success Stories, where we feature interviews with our microblading students who are creating fulfilling careers and financial freedom they never had before. You'll learn how they started, how they achieved their success, and how you can follow in their footsteps. Join us, and let's find out if a career in microblading is for you. Here it comes, and boom, we are live. What's up, everybody? I am Glenn, and this is 6 Digit Club Success Stories. That's Master Claire. Everybody knows Master Claire.
Hi.
And we have a special guest with us today. We have Paula McPherson, our newest 6 Digit Club member. Would you like to know how Paula, an underpaid chemist, she was a chemist, Claire.
I know.
A chemist.
I know exactly who
Would
she
you like
is.
to know how an underpaid chemist became a successful microblading artist and grew an income over 6 figures and has completely transformed her life? Well, you're in the right place, because that's what today's webinar is all about. Paula, say what's up to everybody.
What's up? Hi.
All right, so here's how this is going to work. Couple quick things. This webinar is going to go about 30 minutes or so, plus or minus, depending. If you would like to take action on what we're going to share with you, I want to show you just quickly right off the bat what you can do. So you can actually go to our consultation page right over here, which you'll see. This is on our website. It's microbladingacademyusa.com/consultation. If you like what we're going to share with you, if this is interesting to you, if you happen to be a chemist and you're underpaid and you'd like to be a successful microblading artist, this is where you should go, okay? What else? If you would like to follow Paula and follow her story, and you're going to learn all about her amazing story today, you can check her out on Instagram at Runway Browse. Okay. You can also find her on Facebook as well at Runway Browse. And you can also follow us, our academy, at Microblading Academy USA.
And
now,
me.
And you can obviously follow Master Claire. Excuse me. So insulting. I always find a way to do it. So what's your Instagram handle? It's
Fibra's Master, I don't know, something like that.
You don't know your own Instagram?
I think it's
Folks,
good.
if you don't even know your own Instagram, you can still be successful at microblading. Okay? You can still do it. So it's Fibra's Master Claire, isn't it?
I think it's,
all right, well,
it's my last name too.
All right, hold on a second. Let's find this real fast.
Yeah, it's
Watch
Fibra's
this.
Master Claire Rosenberg. I think that's what it is.
There it is. Fibra's Master Claire Rosenberg, K-L-E-R. Okay. Here's my promise to all of you who are watching. By the end of this webinar, okay, you are going to know how Paula did this, how she went from an underpaid chemist who had nothing to do with the world of beauty, and how she transitioned into this career, how she grabbed a hold of this and she became successful with it. You are going to know the answer to that question. Would you like to know?
Let's go.
All right. Last quick thing is there's also a special bonus for those of you who hang out till the end. All right. We have a special program, and it's called, one of our business building programs. It's called Your First 10K from Microblading. This is like 5 hours of video interviews with our most successful artists like Paula, actually. And it's already logged in here. Excuse me. I better go back. I don't want to show them the goods. But anyway, what this is this will show you how some of our most successful artists went from 0 to their first 10,000 from microblading. Okay. If you are registered for this webinar, if you hang out until the end, you are qualified for this giveaway. And if you're watching on Facebook, all you need to do is like this video, and comment on this video, and share it publicly, and tag your best friend. And that's it. You're in the running. We'll announce it on Tuesday.
Tag your best friend who's another chemist.
Yes. Tag your chemist best friend. All right. Paula, are you ready to get into this story? Let's do this. Okay. So quickly, give us a little bit of an update on where you are today, and then we'll go back in time. So first, where are you today as far as how many microblading procedures you do per week? How much do you charge? What's going on?
Okay, so currently in a week, I do probably about 6-7 new appointments per week, sprinkled in with many, many yearly touch-ups. I charge $550 for either microblading or ombre, and then $650 if I do combination brows.
How many of your clients do combination brows at the 650 versus how many do microblading at the 550?
Whoever I tell to, they ask me. So I would say like 50% of my clients will do combination, and then a really good mix. Sometimes I think it comes in waves. Whatever they see on Instagram most, they'll be like, I want that.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Okay. Awesome. So if we were to say 50%, that would mean that half do 550, half do 650. So it's 600 on average, right?
On average, yeah.
And it's about 6 or 7 per week. So you're close to about $4,000 per week of revenue from new microblading procedures. You're not talking about touch-ups.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's where she is today. Let's take a look at, can we show everybody your work?
Please.
You mind? Okay. Don't be bashful, Paula.
Oh, I remember we were in the Houston class.
Yes.
And you came with your aunt or who was that?
My aunt, she lived in Texas, so she drove up just to stay with
That's right, I remember.
Yeah.
So we're looking at, this is just microblading, right? This is not combo brows?
Yes.
No, this looks
right.
Like
just microblading.
Okay. So can you describe to everyone who's watching, if they might be like totally brand new and they like don't even know what microblading is, what is it?
Okay, so microblading is a permanent cosmetic tattoo that draws individual hair strokes to mimic natural hair, like a natural brow.
It's interesting the way she explains, because I don't explain like that.
How do you explain it?
I say that microblading, if it's done correctly, it is a semi-permanent because we insert the pigment in the very top layer of dermis. Mm-hmm. Because if it goes really deep, because what happens is if a client thinks that this is permanent and then, like 6 months to a year and a half later, it's not really there as much, they get upset. So I tell them, listen, this is a semi-permanent makeup, but whether you see it or you don't see it, the residual not residual, what is it called? Residue of pigment could be still present in the skin. Like under the skin, there will always be a pigment, a color, but maybe visible, maybe not visible. So that's how I explain. I think it's better because when I started working and I would say it's permanent and then it didn't last as long, they would get upset. I don't know if you ever had that problem, but.
No, and I this is a very it's a big source of discussion in the permanent makeup industry of like whether to call it semi-permanent or not. I worry about saying semi-permanent because some people take that to heart of, oh, I can get this and in 2 years it'll be completely gone. And
I explain to them, I say to them, it is semi-permanent, but it will be, it will still show, but it will not be, you know what I mean? Like, that's how I say it to them.
So Paula, how did you learn how to do this?
So yours truly, Master Claire, that was the first, person to ever show me what microblading was. And of course, when you go to the training, it's fast. There's so much information. It's really about what you do once you go home. You put in time. There is no quick way to do this. There's no amount of trainings that like somebody can teach you how to be great. You have to practice and really just be passionate about it and look at people who you admire their work, follow their works, watch videos to see what, not just the pattern, but the actual method that they do the hair strokes, and just see what you find. And following natural hair is like, you can't go wrong just by following it.
So why did you leave chemistry? Well, actually, you know what? Even before I ask that question, like for the average person, they think like you go to school and you study chemistry. I think we all probably had like at least one course in chemistry somewhere along the way. What does that mean to be a chemist?
I'm telling you, to be a chemist is 100 times harder than to be a microblader.
Probably.
My brain does not take chemistry.
So when I was in chemistry, it was basically, there's so many different types. I was personally an organic chemist. I tested water and soil samples for different types of substances. So pesticides, herbicides, PCBs, just, toxic things and non-toxic things. And so my main reason of leaving was, first off, financially, just like a microblade artist, a chemist could make a wide range of money. And I was on the very, very low end of that because I was starting out. But what I noticed more than the financial aspect of it was I did not like it. I was not good at it. I was not proficient at it. And it's so hard to just it's like fitting a square into a round peg. Just, it didn't fit,
I didn't like chemistry.
I loved chemistry. I didn't like being a chemist. It was very secluded. You're by yourself, which I thought I would love, but I'm such a cool person. So
it's just so rewarding, isn't it? Like to make people so happy and they're like hugging you.
You know, the highlight or something.
So sweet, so sweet. They're like, we're changing people's lives. Yes. Literally changing people's lives, especially like I did a lady, Pay with a Smile lady with the cancer. And she started crying and she's like, "You're my angel. You're so sweet. You changed me." Like she was like, she couldn't help herself,
Yeah. And I did not get any kind of personal satisfaction from my job as a chemist. And so switching over to this, it was almost like everything made sense. I am going to work happy. I love what I do. And I can put my heart and soul into this because it's something that I'm so passionate about. And
not work as long hours too.
Yeah. Or if I would probably say, I feel like I don't stop working. When you own a business, you don't stop working, but it doesn't feel like work. I am proud to work at 1 a.m. I do not mind it.
But you are making so much more money than if somebody worked till 1 a.m. doing something else, maybe, right?
Yeah.
That's a big.
So Paula, chemistry or being a chemist and microblading. I'm thinking these are so far apart. How did it ever occur? Were you just you're working on your microscope and I'm going to be a microblader. That's what I'm going to do. I want to do microblading.
And by the way, when she took the microblading, it was like you took my course. I was, I think, one of the only masters in the United States at the time. And people
you were at the time.
Right? And then it was crazy.
And I was so lucky. At the time, I didn't do my due diligence in researching of who I should go to. So I was going to go to an unnamed academy. And luckily they were filled and they said, check out Master Claire. And I'm telling you, I had
I don't know what she's talking about because we talked about this. I forget about that.
But wait, so Paula, how did you come up with the idea to get certified in microblading?
So my husband was the one that was like, we need to look for a side hustle. We just need something just to bring a little extra money in. So first off, I was already open to the idea of trying something else, something I would enjoy. Mm-hmm. But I went through a couple things that did not work out so much for me, like YouTube, because I am not good at talking to a camera. And that didn't work out and just different things. And then I was on Instagram one night, 11 o'clock at night, just scrolling. And I saw a photo that I thought was just makeup. And I scrolled past it and I was like, let me go back and see what that is. And for the rest of the night, I was up another 3 hours Googling, what is this? How do I get, how much does it cost to take it? How much does it cost to, how much does the service cost? Who does it around here? Learning everything about it.
Mm.
And, the next day I went.
No. Are you still married?
Yes. Yes, I am.
I didn't know. I thought she was single for all this time. I didn't know that about her.
No, yeah, I was.
Do you have kids?
No kids.
No kids, right?
Children.
Microblading is your kid.
My business.
I don't got kids. I got microblading. I got me some powder brows. No, I'm just kidding. But so Paula, so you realized that you wanted to do this. Did you have the money to do this, to get certified?
No, my savings account was low at the time, and I definitely didn't have the money. Now, knowing what I know now, like I would have collected coins on the corner if I knew how much of a return it would have, it would get me. But luckily I have a really, really like supportive family. And I just went to my parents the very next day and I was like, would you guys like to invest in my my business venture? And they were like, okay, sure. So they were the one that initially invested that first like $4,000 they gave me, for traveling and for the course. That's how I got like that initial money.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to say something about this because it's interesting. And I say this all the time and people don't seem to understand it. But how much did you spend for your college education?
$30,000. No, well, I mean, $30,000 in loans without interest.
That's what I'm saying. It's crazy, right? It is. And not only that, and then they say, well, it's not like I'm going to take the microblading course and I'm going to be so successful like Paula. And I agree. Not everybody is going to be successful. That's like with anything though. Like you went to school to be a chemist, you spent $30,000 and you're not even a chemist. So what's the difference, right? It's a point. I think it's a good point to make, isn't it?
Well, the difference is with one, you can make probably a lot more money.
Well, you could make a lot more money. That's not even the case. But like sometimes people attack me, like she makes it look like it's so easy to make the money. Mm-hmm. Everybody's going to make. We're not saying that everybody's going to make it. We're not saying that everybody's going to be successful. Of course not. But this is in any business. This is up to you guys. You want to do it? Mm-hmm. What do I say?
If the monkey want to do it, I could teach the microblading to the monkey, but the monkey got to want to do it. Right? That's what Master Claire says.
That's my saying. You know what? Like,
put it on a t-shirt.
Right. But that's
the monkey got to want to do it.
The monkey, I'm going to make a t-shirt. The monkey got to want to do it.
That's the best. That's the best saying you ever came up with. But no, it's totally true. You know what? Paula, we talked a little bit before we got on the webinar. We were talking about how some people might be watching this and they might be thinking like, oh, it's saturated. Oh, there's so many people doing it. Or there's two people in my town that are already doing. Wait, let me just make this point. There's two people in my town that are already doing this. And it's interesting. We live in South Florida. In South Florida, there's a lot of retirees. There's no state income tax. So there's a lot of people, they retire down here. And once people are retired, most, if you're talking about people who have money in the United States, once you're retired, you've been saving money for a long time.
So what are you going to do? You're going to get your eyebrows done?
No, that's not my point. My point is that there's a lot of money to invest down here. And so there's a lot of brokers down here. So I was in the financial industry for a long time and but when I got involved in it, I looked around and I said, there's a lot of brokers in this. But you know what? I became successful in it. And there's people who are successful and there's people who are not successful. And it's no different in the microblading industry as it is in the financial industry.
But let me tell you something.
Or the window washing industry.
But it's a very good point to make also. Yes, it is saturated. There is no two ways around it. It is saturated and it will get more saturated. But remember this. When the gel manicure came out, there was maybe one or two shops that they were doing it. Mm-hmm. And then, everybody started doing it, but then everybody started to find out about it also, right? This is the thing. Like when I taught you, honestly, people didn't even know what is microblading. Most of the people, when I got into microblading, they had no idea. And I used to look at people's work and I used to think, wow, that is so incredibly beautiful. And you know what I think now? Oh my God, it's horrible.
Oh my God.
I wouldn't even certify them. Like, it's so bad. But that's what I'm saying. Like, there is going to be always a demand. When the demand is getting higher, then we need more people doing it. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be like literally, and I was telling this in my course this weekend. I said, guys, don't worry because there is a big demand. There is going to be places that's, how it says now, like a brow bar, like that's like for brow shaping. Mm-hmm. They're everywhere. Mm-hmm. When I opened my brow bar, you didn't even hear this. blah blah's bar, blah blah brow. Brow.
Say that 3 times fast.
No, it's a tongue twister. But you know what I'm saying? Like there was so many people now. There is so many people now that are doing eyebrow shaping and calling it a brow bar. You know what I mean? I thought when I was doing it, it was like unique, but it's nothing unique now. But guess what? We're still very busy. We're still like working, and there's always going to be the cheaper. There's always going to be the more expensive. Okay. So I think the people, like artists like you need to show your clients the difference, what's good, what's not. Show them. Then
Paula had mentioned that to me. Like part of what you do is educating the client, right?
Very good. Yes.
So I want to touch on that really quick about the saturation. There's like 2 things I want to say. First, Master Claire, exactly what you said. When I first started microblading, there was maybe 2-3 people in my area that did it. One of the reasons I jumped for it, because I was like, I'll get in on the ground level for this.
Are you in Baltimore? Where are you? Virginia,
Newport News. It's like a tiny little spot. And we don't get things here until years later. So there was nobody doing it here. And so I jumped at it. I was one of the first, I want to say the first 5 people doing it here. And shortly after that, people started popping up. And at first I got a little worried because it's like, there's competition. But it's really how you look at it. Competition does not have to, they're either your competition or they're your colleagues. And, I
said that in your course. Very good. It stuck with you. I say that every course. Very good. I'm glad.
So true, because that person you can only market so much, and that person is going to market. So they're going to reach people that you have not reached, and up to the consumer to say, I need to do my research. And they're going to start looking, and then they're going to find you, somebody that wouldn't have found you if that other artist had not marketed for you. So don't worry about other artists. Secondly, it's very important to reach out to other artists. I reached out to there's a girl 10 minutes down the road from me. And when she first came, I noticed her work was better than anyone else's coming up. She's a febrile royal artist now. Maria Wood, shout out. So the thing is that when she started coming up and I noticed her work was good, and I was too busy to take clients, that needed to be in that week, I would say, hey, I can't take you, but this girl can, and she's good. Good. And I would trust to send you to her, and vice versa. She started sending people to me that couldn't take. So we eventually linked up, and now I would say being friends with her and colleagues with her is one of the most impactful things to why my business has succeeded. That's
so nice. So nice.
We have a young guy in Puerto Rico. His name is Kenneth Santana, and he is also a 6-digit club member. He's been doing microblading for a little bit less than a year. And he's one of the fastest to have gone to 6 digits and to become a royal artist and to be successful. But when he started, he's only 23 years old.
Kim Do did it too, though.
Kim Do is very fast too. Credit. Yeah, she's very fast. She's fast at everything that she does. And she's like a super
She's watching. Like, Glenn.
She's probably watching this and she's practicing while she's watching this. But what I wanted to say about
Kim.
What I want to say about Kenneth is that when Kenneth got started, he was intimidated to get started because his mom did microblading, and he was exposed to it. He was studying to be an RN, to be a nurse. And he saw people who were doing this, and he was thinking like, oh my God, there's a lot of people doing this. I don't know if I could do it. Like, it's intimidating when you're not in something and you see other people doing it. And Leslie, who ended up being his trainer, told him to just focus on yourself and focus on delivering the best possible, product and service and results for your client that you possibly can, be the best you can be. And he focused on himself. He did it. And he ended up being very successful. And now he's very well known. He's risen.
Yeah, he's really, they're both. Mother also.
They have that saying, the cream rises to the top, right?
Right.
The cream rises to the top. But I'm curious for you, you felt confident when you started this, that you could do this, that you had some artistic skill. Not everybody feels that way. And I want to give an example of somebody who didn't, but would you share a little bit about your because some people will feel confident. Some people will look at this and they're going to watch this webinar. They're going to think like, I could do this. I have the ability to do this. Can you share kind of your thoughts when you were getting started?
When I was getting started, I told you about that like first night that I saw it on Instagram. It really resonated with me because first, I love makeup. I love tattoos. And third, I went to like the high school that I went specifically for the art magnet. So I've always loved drawing, and my favorite thing to draw was eyes and a brow. So, you do the eyebrow.
Before microblading?
That's so cool.
And then in college, I remember saying, like, if I don't make it, if I can't get this college degree, I'm going to quit and become a tattoo artist. So it's so funny how years later, everything, I really believe that everything like comes together to work out the way it's supposed to. So that's why when I started doing it, I really didn't have any doubt that like I was going to do this. I didn't think I was going to do this at this scale by any means. I never imagined quitting my job, like at all.
So let's talk a little bit about like bridging the gap in the story between you got certified and to where you are today. How did you make that happen? What happened? Like, how did you get your first couple of models? Did you charge them? Like, how did you transition to charging and then raising your price? How did that happen?
So, let me think. Okay. So I was working as soon as I finished Claire's training, I went home. You got to put in time for the levels. People expect that they're going to get through these levels, no problem with that, like doing it one time. And that's not how it works. Like if someone is correcting you, you need to listen to those corrections, put in the work, get better. Okay. So I did.
Amen to you. Because not everybody, I did like.
They expect it to be handed to them. And that's the thing. That's the one good thing about Fee-Brows. That's one good thing about specifically Microblading Academy USA is that you're going to they're going to, by the time you get certified, you're going to be good. If we could just give this to anybody, then the title of a Fee-Brow artist would hold no weight. Yeah. And, we want it to continue to hold weight. So moving along, were you asking me that question?
You were talking about how you took the course and how did you get started?
Okay, so yes.
What did you do?
As soon as I finished my levels, I started doing
How long did it take you? Because a lot of people ask this, and it really depends. But I'm curious how long it took you. Do you remember how long it took you from the level 1 to be graduated?
13 days.
That's it? 13 days?
13 days.
You passed me on my very first live,
It's a record. She broke the record. Kim,
oh my God.
Kim Do, I'm sorry.
Sorry, Kim.
13 days to complete the whole entire course?
Yes.
Okay, for those of you who are watching this, that is totally abnormal. Totally abnormal. How long would you say the average person takes?
Average is about 3 to 2 months minimum usually. Mm-hmm. And then it could be up to, I don't know, some people don't get sort of that.
Some people take the full 6 months.
Or some people take 6 months. Some people
buy an extension.
And they do it.
So just for you watching at home, so when you take this course, you get ongoing support for 6 months.
6 months.
You have 6 months to complete this. And even if you don't complete it in 6 months, we can
do an
arrange to extend it. And
then you basically continue where you left off. So if you were like at level 7 or whatever, and then you're not going to go back because it's expired. Mm-hmm. You're not going to go back to level 1.
Right. So all right. So Paula, so continue your story. So you finished real fast, and then what happened?
I would like to say really quick that passing in 13 days is actually like a testament to how quick Master Claire gets back to you, because I know some people say that they submit their work and their master doesn't respond for days, So to have
thank you.
You don't sleep.
I don't sleep.
Late. She does not sleep. And you responded so quickly, and I was able to get through without having to wait. It's the weekend. She's off on the weekend. No. Okay. So moving along. After that, I started doing every single friend and family member that I could find at, clearly zero cost. And I would say this was very important to setting up my business, because number one, it's going to get you the much needed practice. Number two, you're not going to be good in the beginning. Like, you're not going to be that great. So you don't want to charge somebody that you're going to be embarrassed of that work later on. So do it for free. You need those photos. So number three, they're giving you content for your portfolio.
Exactly. You're saying such good things. She's hitting the boom, boom, boom.
I'm trying. So I was like, don't even worry in the beginning about money, about like collecting pennies for those first few people.
Portfolio. Exactly.
Yeah. You need your portfolio, and chances are your work is probably going to fade out because you're probably not, feeling right anyways.
But do you feel like if you did a good shape and even the strokes are not perfect, people like it? They don't know the difference, really. Yes. They're going to be happy.
Yeah. Stay with the shape
is super important.
So I have to get to the answer here in the next 5 minutes. How did you get to six figures? Tell us, please.
Okay. So hold up. So I started doing friends and family. From there, once I had a good, probably about 10 photos or so, I was putting them on my Instagram, and then I started charging a really low introductory fee.
How much?
$350. No, $375, I think, was my starting price. $375. Mm-hmm. One of the biggest things I think that got me from there to here is networking. And looking at who, just having this mindset that your clients are your billboard. Every single person walking around has your brand on them. So start looking at who you are putting your brand on. And I looked at a few, people in the area that had their own platforms. So there was a makeup artist, esthetician in the area that I just reached out to. And this is when I was decent, much better, had gotten some experience. So I wouldn't mess her up, because you have to bring your A game to
her. That's very true too.
And so what'd you do?
And I just reached out to her and I said, I would love to do your eyebrows for free. Like, would you be okay with this? And she was like, yes. And she shouted me out. She hooked me up. So really do something.
But she had followers, right? She had
followers, yeah. Mm-hmm. She had a really good, following that really trusted her. So look at the people that you're putting your brand on. Get photographers, get realtors are really great for some, they talk to so many people.
They see a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And people in the beauty industry, and, offer a few of them free once you are good.
Bankers. I just thought about this. The tellers at the bank.
There you go. Yes.
They see a lot of people. And when you're waiting, you're looking at them when they're processing. I just thought about that. Like literally for the first time, Glenn.
So that was a huge step in the right direction, because she really, plugged me in. Mm-hmm. And then I would like to say the last thing that really helped is delivering something else. There's going to be a point is that, oh shoot, you can't do that to me because now my mind's gone. Remind me really quickly what we were saying. Okay, so the other thing is that you have to have something that other people don't have. What's going to distinguish you from every other microblade artist? Let's say all of your work is on equal footing. All of your work is good. Why are people going to come specifically to you? And it's going to be the experience you give them. You're either going to be extremely professional, extremely fast, extremely personable. Whatever you have that someone else does not have, and you really have to highlight that. And, don't worry about what other people are doing. Worry about what sets you apart from what other people are doing.
And so at what point did you actually rent a space?
About 6 months into microblading. So at the time I was still working. I was working 40 hours a week, and I was doing, first it was just the weekends. I started putting people, on just Sunday, and then Saturday and Sunday. And then every month it doubled. If you do one person really good, they're going to tell two friends, and those two friends they're going to tell another. So really just focus on the quality of work you're giving somebody. So at 8 months, I had already maxed out my weekends. I had already started having to do evening appointments during the week, where I would work from 8 to 5, come home, eat from 5 to 6, and then work 6 to 10, because it still took me 4 hours.
That's hardworking.
And it really, paid off. So by the time
it pays off, I always say,
you have to put the time in. It doesn't, fall in your lap. And by the time that I quit my job, I was actually, I had gone part-time to try to get more clients in. So I'd gone part-time at the lab. And during those 13 hours that I was at the lab, I was losing money that I could have been making way more. And at that point, it was stupid to keep working. And at that month, I had also gotten my studio that I'm in now. And
okay, so a couple rapid fire questions here. Yes. You were working in on the weekends. Where were you doing the service?
So when I started out, it's not the best way to start it, but I was, I had a room in my house, set up like an entire salon just in one room, and I was doing everything from there. And that's just, at the time, microblading wasn't even regulated in my area. They didn't even know there was no laws for this here.
So, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you said in about 8 months you got a studio?
Yes.
Okay, when you say a studio, do you mean like a salon suite, or you mean like what?
Yeah, the suite that I'm in now. So I call this, it's an office suite. I just call it my studio, but it's, just me here. It's not like a whole building.
So it's a freestanding building? What is it?
So what's in there? What else is in there?
So it's an office building. They have different, many suites. In my suite, I've got 3 rooms. So when I first got into moving into this suite, I reached out to a makeup artist and said, do you want to split, do you want to go into a studio with me? So
you are sharing?
Yeah. So in the one of the other rooms, right out this door, there's a waiting room, and then there's 2 other rooms attached. So in one room, there's 2 makeup artists now, and in the other room, there's an esthetician. So we all
smart. So you could refer to each other.
First off, we send each other all of our clients. So I get a lot of clients from the other girls. Secondly, we split the overhead of this place, which already is a very a well-priced thing, splitting it between 4 people.
So how much is your share of the overhead per month?
$150 a month for my studio.
No.
Yeah. I make this money in less than a yearly touch-up.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she'll make that in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
They just raised our rent $700 per month. They raised our rent.
Oh my God. That's
insane.
Amazing.
$150 per month.
Per month.
Wow.
Wow. So that income that you're generating is insanely profitable because you have very low overhead.
We should open the academy there, Glenn.
Sounds like it. I want to just pick this place up and put it in your suite.
How far are you from Washington, D.C.?
3 hours.
3 hours. Wait, is it a big city?
No, my city is pretty small. It's a full city, but it's not very popular. It's not crazy. Virginia Beach, we're right between Virginia Beach and Richmond. So about an hour, from each.
But that's another thing. Look at it. Glenn, she's not even in a big city,
And I would like to say also, the building that I'm in, I don't have a
pros again.
Go.
So since my building my building doesn't have my sign on it or anything, 100% of my foot traffic is personal referrals and Instagram or social media. I have to put $0 into marketing. So don't worry about location. If you are good and you deliver a quality product, people will seek you out.
All right, guys, if you are interested in what we're talking about here today, here's what you can do. I want to remind you. You can go to microbladingacademyusa.com/consultation. The link is going to be somewhere around this video. You can click it. You can schedule a free consultation with one of our friendly staff. We're super friendly. We'd love to talk with you and figure out if a career in microblading is for you. And if you're a chemist, we'll have a special surprise for you. And if you want to follow Paula, and learn from what she's doing, you can find her at Runway Brows on Instagram. Please, if you do want to qualify for this special giveaway that we're going to do with the 10K program, like your first 10K for microblading, we're going to give away 3 of these. It's a $500 program. This is an amazing program. Remember, share this video, like the video, put a comment, and tag your chemist who's your best friend. And you'll be in the running, and we'll announce it on Tuesday. But why not also tag Paula and be cool and give her a shout out for coming on here and sharing her amazing story with you. Paula, thanks so much for coming on. You are awesome. We're very proud of you.
Glenn was clapping. He hurt his hand. Look, he broke his hand, so he can't clap. I'm clapping for him.
With one hand.
Paula, seriously, we're really proud of you. This is amazing, amazing, amazing. 13 days is ridiculous. You're our first chemist to do this, so I think you probably should win an award just for that. But congratulations on making the Six-Digit Club. Congratulations on serving customers, doing a great job, and being proud of what you do, and
making the world a more beautiful place.
Thank you, guys.
One brow at a time.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Paula.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Adios, everybody.
Bye. Come see me. Wait. Come see me in my Washington, D.C. course. Next weekend, I'm teaching there.
Really?
Yes, really.
Okay. I'll drive up.
Say hello. I know it's a little bit far, but...
That's a trek. 3 hours.
Just a little 3-hour drive.
All right. Awesome.
All right.
Thanks,
bye,
Paula.
guys. Thank
See you, everybody.
you.